I wanted to take a look at the day that Hayden Panatierre passed away. Excuse me. And her birth chart is on the left. Her transit chart is on the right. And in her birth chart, we see that she had a Sagittarius. Well, the birth time was um, rectified, so that means that they didn't have her exact moment of birth to do the chart, but a rectification is when an astrologer will assess by events in a person's life what time the birth may have happened. And excuse me. Um, so anyway, what they came up with is that she had a Sagittarius Gemini axis for her ascendant and descendant, and for her Imam Quelli, the midheaven was in Libra, and the Imam Quelli was in Aries. And, I don't know if that's correct, because a rectified chart can only, may be a little bit inaccurate, may not be, but I'm not skilled enough to do a rectified chart, and what I look at is the birth, where the birth signs, where the planets were. And of course, you can see with the bigger planets where they were. You may not know exactly where the moon was, or the exact moment some things happened, or the breakdown of the houses may not be exactly correct. But anyway, so with her having her true node in Aquarius, that would be a public, her that's on the left hand side, with her birth chart. The north node is down on the bottom in Aquarius, and that would be correct because the bigger planets do not move quickly, so all of that generation would have the around the same time, around the same north node. And also you can look pretty well on a date as to where the bigger planets are. And she has Uranus, which is the ruler of Aquarius. So Uranus in her first house, which is the ruler of this planet, this sign. And so those two are connected, and that is the point of genius. But it's also Aquarius and Uranus is unexpected, volatile happenings, and it can be a point of genius. And she has Neptune and Saturn in that also. So Saturn is the career, Neptune is unconscious motivations, and being able to have creativity. Often you'll see Neptune or Pisces axis with people who sing, or she was an actress, but she also sang. And the voice is ruled by Taurus. And if this is an accurate chart, her moon sign was in Taurus, and that rules the voice. And in the house of entertainment, the fifth house, if the breakdown is correct. And then she had things happen to her that really messed with her mind sexually. And Pluto over here on the left is in Scorpio. Scorpio is the sign that rules sexuality, and she was trafficked and it messed with her mind. And she I apparently wrote about that. I've never seen her memoirs, but apparently wrote about her experiences. She was molested and trafficked, is what I understand. And that was what caused her to feel out of control and turn to drugs, is what, to escape. Or maybe, I don't know if she was drugged in the beginning to have those experiences that she had. But excuse me, the Neptune in the first house, Neptune rules confusion, and also Pisces down there in the third house of communication. That would be confusion, but it's also creativity. So, I mean, that goes for her career. She was creative, but she may have had communicating, I mean, confusion in some communications regarding probably things that she did to organize her career, having and volatile happenings with Uranus and career. I mean, Uranus and Saturn and Neptune, those all together, like that, could cause, Uranus is volatile and career, and I mean, Saturn is ruler of career, and then Neptune, ruler of confusion. And so she could have had volatile things happen to her um, while she was beginning her career, or in her career somehow. And um, I'm kind of repeating myself, it sounds like. Um, the top of her chart is ruled by Mercury. It's Virgo, and Virgo is often seen, like I was saying, it's often seen in singers to have a Virgo and Pisces axis, emphasized Virgo. She had Mercury, which is the ruler of Virgo, in that house, and that is the ninth house of long distance communications and so forth, and travel, emphasis on the higher mind, but also affecting things at a long distance. And she has Mars there, which would be your motivations and your initiative, and being able to take initiative with her voice, with her speaking, with her communications. And her communications went far and wide. And the reason that I even question about the rectification is because, like I said, a lot of people that are singers have the Virgo and Aries, I mean, Virgo and Pisces axis on either their midheaven and Imam Kweli, or their ascendant descendant. And this is just to that side, to the left hand side of the midheaven is just to the left hand side of Virgo. And I don't know if that's correct. Maybe it isn't correct. Maybe it should have been in Virgo and Pisces. But I mean, I don't know. But just from what I've seen of singers and people that are famous singers often have that access. You'll look at uh, Prince and Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston, but then they also had the problem with addiction, with substances. So, excuse me, and probably all three of them died with from addictions, and um, that's why I question the exact breakdown of where the rectification is putting her, midheaven. And um, anyway, Venus in Libra, that's a beautiful person, beautiful face. Venus is the planet that rules beauty and money that you make through your own efforts, and it's in the house of career for her, and Libra is, and she was very beautiful. Um, so she, used her beauty for her career. Um, Also, having Lilith there, that's, some taboo subjects that could be the connection with the abuse that she underwent. And then her son being in Leo, that's very common for someone that's in the public eye, having their son in Leo. A lot of charisma, a lot of showing up in public, and having, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I can't clear my throat. Um, Now having her um, south node there, that would be like moving away as she got older from being in the public eye, but she didn't get older because she passed away. But uh, and then the vertex is what the type of people that you that's off to the right here. The type of people that might you attract without any of your own volition, and obviously in the eighth house, that is a sexual attraction that she may not have wanted. And uh, Chiron is slow moving, so it probably really was in Cancer, and in the seventh house of relationships, and Jupiter there also. She may have been well loved and well received and appeared happy to a lot of people. But with Chiron there, it's where your wounds, you cannot heal your inner wounds, but but other people may perceive you as healing them. And so that's the way her birth chart looks. So to the transit chart over here, on the day that she passed away, she had the Lilith, the dark moon, in her first house, if this is correct. And it could have been that if it wasn't quite correct, it could have been affecting Uranus, which Uranus is volatile, explosive energy, and also because uh, basically Uranus and Saturn and Neptune are all conjunct, it would have affected all three of those. So Neptune is the ruler of addictions, and so that that effect is not a good one to have on Neptune. And then if you look in her house of health, Uranus was transiting there, and I have seen many people pass away with Uranus in the sixth house of health. But it was unexpected, and that's another aspect of Uranus. It's unexpected energy, volatile, explosive even. And so that's what that day that she passed away, it was unexpected, and she didn't mean to do that, I don't think. And her moon up at the top, the moon was transiting where her natal Lilith was. So I mean, there was something, dark thoughts, taboo thoughts, things that she couldn't overcome in her mind, maybe, and or things that were taboo. Taking too much drugs is not acceptable usually. And what I like to look at is when I see someone passing away, and also Chiron. And for her, Chiron was transiting, where is it? I can't even see it. Oh, there it is. It is in the fifth house. So it was conjunct her moon, her natal moon, if the breakdown is correct. And so she couldn't heal what was going on in her mind, maybe. And then with the fourth house and the Imam Kwali, the beginning of the fourth house is the fourth house rules end of life affairs, and I often see something in a death, a critical. It becomes a critical point to look at the four corners of the chart, the ascendant, descendant, the midheaven, and Imam Kweli. And it's often, Imam Kweli often breaks down with the beginning of the fourth house, which is the end of life affairs. And with her, it had Neptune transiting her Imam Kweli, which that's the ruler. Neptune is the ruler of addictions and isolation. She may have felt in her mind that she just couldn't get past being what was going on in her mind, or just I don't think she meant to kill herself. The other thing is Pluto, over here left, a little bit to the left there. Pluto was transiting Aquarius, which Aquarius is, of course, ruled by Uranus, and Pluto is the planet ruling death, and also it rules poisons. And so unexpectedly poisoning yourself, maybe, or unexpectedly some unexpected happening that could be secretive, unexpected thing. And that goes along with the Uranus in her house of health over here. So those are just things I see. The transiting I see would have been her transiting I see. I don't understand why they move her I see over here, but that's I'm not really familiar with the transit charts that move someone's IC and someone's MC. But if you see her IC was conjunct her in Taurus, and Taurus rules the voice, and so her voice was silenced. But what else do I see? That wasn't that probably anything to do with that. Is the more critical thing that I see here is Chiron conjunct the moon, her natal moon. And Um, then also it looks like Pluto up here was in Scor Pluto is her natal Pluto in Scorpio. It looks like her transiting IC was in that, so that, I mean MC, so that could be something you look at, I suppose, if you use those. That would make sense. Her outer image was that she passed away because that it was conjunct her natal Pluto in Scorpio. Her sun and Mercury and Jupiter were all in the house that, and her vertex were all in the house that the South Node is transiting. South Node is what you're moving away from. So often when I was in a group that looked at deaths, they talked about the sun being snuffed out, your energy being snuffed out by the energy when you pass away. So it was in where her south node was. So um, her vital, her life was taken. Her life was snuffed out. It was almost, her sun was conjunct her natal, nearly conjunct her natal south node too, so a double effect of south node. South node is what you're moving away from, your destiny. It's the point of destiny. So maybe that had something to do with it. Her Mars, which is your energy and your initiative, was conjunct her natal Jupiter over here on the right, and it was in the same house as Chiron, and Chiron is where you can't heal yourself. There's something about the relationship house that she could not reconcile, because that's where your wounds are, your inner wounds, and so maybe her inner wounds were activated by Mars's transit there. And uh, she also had natal Venus being affected by transiting of Venus, and Venus can be it can become a functional malefic by enhancing and increasing the energy where it is, if it's in a negative aspect. And because it was in the house that also that Lilith is for her, it could enhance more the darker thinking, or darker the taboo thoughts that she might have had, things on her mind that were not pleasant. Of course, this is all speculation, and I really just like to look and see if I can see anything. Her north node, she down on the bottom, the north node was transiting right into Pisces, and Pisces is the house that rules endings, loss, house of loss. So, I mean, that would be another thing to look at. And in that group that I was in that looked at deaths, they always looked at fixed stars and things like that. And I'm I'm not going into any of that. I just wanted to see if I could see anything. And the biggest things that stand out to me are the Lilith in her first and Uranus in her sixth, the house of health, and um, also Neptune down there. Well, of course, yeah, all of those things. Pluto being affected by that explosive energy of Aquarius, and just all of the things that I've already said. And I guess I'll stop there. Thanks for listening.